Thank you. I'm super thrilled to be here, and everyone from Open Sailing is honored to be representing Protei, so thank you. I work with a group called Open Sailing, and we develop open source technologies to explore and study the ocean. This summer, a group of us came together in Rotterdam to build a full-scale working prototype for a fleet of oil-collecting sailing robots called Protei. And this is what we built this summer. It's the 6th version. It's an open source, low-cost, unmanned, articulated hull boat, and it pulls an sorbent oil boom that absorbs oil off the top of water as oil drifts downwind. The boat tacks back and forth upwind. And Protei was conceived by Cesar Harada, who saw the inefficiencies of the relief when he was helping out with the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. So he developed this vision for a boat and with these objectives for the design. Ultimately, the goal is to have a DIY reproducible design for a fleet of sailboat drones that are ready to be deployed as needed when a hurricane or an oil spill happens. So these are the current methods for cleaning oil pollution using repurposed fishing vessels. They only collect 3% of the materials. They're hazardous to people and they're super expensive. So the goal was to have an alternative that could be unmanned, inexpensive, and uses recycled materials, and it could operate during storms. So Protei, it's not just a product and a boat, but we're also trying to develop a sustainable business model that's based on open source hardware. Feedback about its design and functionality as people reproduce and use it. And organizationally, we document and develop everything as we go along. We have a qualification-based part of the project is going. All the electronic architecture is made with open source hardware like Arduino. The mechanical design is also documented, and for that version 6 Protei that you saw in the picture, we've developed it in 2 ways. One is using salvage material and really easy to find material like PVC and wood, but we also have 3D designs for custom-made parts that can be milled, and they're available.
It documents the making of the 6th Protei as well as the overall project, and it's supposed to be modular, so as we build more prototypes, we can keep that together.
I'm good, Monty. Thanks.
So Protei is a collaborative project, and it really depends on people coming together willingly and sharing different skill sets that each person has. So that's what really keeps the project alive. It's an international collaboration, so I guess we can call it a multinational company. So we have weekly Skype meetings with people from all over who are Skyping in. That was happening during the summer when we were all together working, but it also happens during the year when we're all spread out. The entire structure of the company, or even of the project, is based on a horizontal chain of command, so it's not hierarchical, so everyone has a say in all of the aspects of the project, like planning, budgeting, etc. And anybody can build one, so by copying our design, that's the goal of the project. So something that would have cost hundreds of thousands to build, hopefully now could be built in a lot less money, as well as in a lot less time, because the goal is that it doesn't have to go from prototype to proof of concept and then to a product after a lot of research and development, but all of these domains and all of these domains could be developed at once in parallel. And they might take different times, but prototypers could build small boats, and then also it could be for engineers and companies as well as institutions or used for academic research. It's also meant to be modular and adaptable, so people could take parts of the boat or the whole boat and use it for different purposes like ocean research, collecting plastic trash or other trash off the water, doing radioactivity monitoring or monitoring marine protected areas. And the overall goal is to have a fleet of these sailboat drones that are operating together. So this really depends on the open hardware and DIY philosophy, so that many people will build it and operate it. And so these pictures just show our different goals for how different networks of the boats will work. We'd like to start studying using autonomous agents that are all part of a centralized and decentralized swarms that could have oil sensing capabilities as well as communicating with each other. So to address the intellectual property question, we collaboratively chose different licenses that fall under the definition of open hardware. And we chose them according to the type of content of the work that they protect. And all of them, or in choosing them, the aim is that all of our materials could be studied, modified, reproduced, redistributed, and all that we ask is that our website, protei.org, be credited. So we're a young team and we're a new team and we're just starting to develop a more organized business model, and we're all, I guess, learning together like how to sustainably operate. And yeah, I think the next step for us is going to be how to address some of these challenges as we do develop a business model with the open source hardware mission. So I feel like I could learn so much from everyone here. I'll talk a little bit about the challenges that I've seen working for the past while and how some of them have been addressed and some of them haven't and hopefully will be. So documentation takes a lot of time and organization, and we really had to put a lot of resources into documentation, not just ongoing, but also at the end of a big project in order to publish something about it. So also logistically, or I guess, okay, we want to receive feedback from people who use it, and I don't know how that's going to be enforced, but that's the hope, that we can receive feedback on the design and make changes depending on that, as well as make new prototypes. So also Protei has the potential to communicate with many disciplines. Like I was saying, it could go into the academic sector, it could be for companies to produce, it could be for prototypers to make. And all these different developments of these prototypes take different amounts of time and might require different ways of communicating the project and the goal. So I think this is going to be a challenge as we move along. Some ways that we're addressing that are we're developing a board and a development plan. So yeah, so that's one way. Another challenge is making profit, and how do we do that? Some ways that we've started to address that are by selling small prototypes and perhaps being hired out for consultancy. That's some ideas. A problem that I saw working this summer was sometimes being so horizontal and open, there was a lack of efficient communication and time management. So as I move forward with open source and open hardware projects, I think thinking about establishing a framework within which we operate openly would be good. And these are how you can find more about Protei and look at the document, and you can email or the website. Thank you.